Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and there's just something amazing about needle nose pliers. It's as if they open up a whole new dimension in human finger dexterity. Being able to control, twist, grab something at such a fine level, way beyond what human fingers are capable of. So the idea of having a full range of needle nose pliers in your toolkit is important, but I'm going to focus on these two right here. Going down to essentially, something like this in a spring-loaded, large enough handle form. There are two versions here, and both of these snap-ons are made in Spain. The one with the bent tip is the P92650A, and then the straight one, I've had this for a long time, there might be an update, I don't know, this is the P92055. Now both of these have a spring load, which is actually pretty strong, which can be good because it allows the friction of the handle and the spring mechanism to give you enough texture to hold the thing. It overcomes the weight. Now, what are the prices? Well, $70 for something like this. And then for snap-on to literally bend the tip is another $15. So this one's $85. That's outrageous. However, they are pretty amazing pliers. When you look at the precision, the closing of the jaws, right up at the tip, takes a little bit of focus and some effort, but that is amazing. And you grab exactly what you want. Now there are other versions of such things. Here's a pair of Knipex. You can see this is the Knipex 3121 160 and the Knipex 3111 160. So basically you've got kind of these almost micro duckbill pliers. They're a different type of plier, grabbing something flat, almost parallel right as it closes, and then of course they've maintained that same duckbill, but this tapers a little bit more once they go to the bent end. So there are plenty of bent ones. On the Klein side, you might get something like this. These Klein pliers were a long time my favorites. They kind of have moved to the back seat with the Knipex there, or even the Snap-ons. The Snap-on larger ones, before I go to those, down to this size here. You can see this one here is the, I think that's 94 CF, and this one here, 95 ACF. If you look at these, they maintain what Snap-on calls the talon grip. It's a much more substantial grip. There's a lot more meat up here at the end. So these are really more serious grabbing, twisting pliers. Once you go down to something like this, especially at this length, you run the risk of being able to twist out the tips. And I always remember Craftsman doing that, just kind of flopping to the side. Snap-on addresses that, Klein addresses that by keeping this basically like a Hemi, Hemi engine. You got a hemispherical or half sphere, half circle blade profile versus Knipex, which goes flat pretty quick. And that flatness, is a weakness, but it also gives you some dexterity up at the front. So here is the kind of the bent. This is like a traditional bend. You can see nice big old flat head on that. They're great, but they're a total different world. But I used to like these just simply because of the dexterity. But even those, you can see, are not quite as precise. And I'm squeezing on the handle pretty good here. And you can see, right up at the end, there's a little bit of a gap. Not much. Now, something interesting I discovered is there's a supposed Snap-on demonstration. Snap-on likes to make different demonstrations. So let's say there are some coins on the ground. Can you pick those up by grabbing? And I have tried this over and over on different coins, and I am not able to do it very much. I've gotten it like 3 times total, not with these. So I'm trying to grab on the edge. I've seen other videos where people have done it. I'm starting to question it. Even if I go to something like this, right there on that lip, I'm having trouble. I am scratching the coin. Can I even get the nickel? You know, I don't know what they're doing, but you can see right here, I'm trying to grab it and I'm not able to. So I don't know what that's all about. What I can do is I can grab some pretty small, fine things with nice hand dexterity. I can really control this thing. That's why I like it. I do use these kind of, these are bolt covers. After you've screwed down a bolt, you might have the ends sticking up and it can, you know, slice you or cut something. So I do get those at the hardware store and use them on these spring-loaded pliers. Just seems to make them a little bit safer, a little bit easier, and it protects the tips. And the tips are critical. So anyway, taking the little micro needle nose to the next level. I've got my big ones. I've got my smaller ones. I've got my other brands, but these 2 little snap-ons, even though they're a little on the pricey side, they really do deliver. And with that, Doc out.